Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
As always, I'm a husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we do our review today, no review today, but we got a great interview lined up for you. We got Rashid, the car god, on from season 3 of Ready to Love, fresh off the reunion. Glad for him to be here. What's going on, Rashid? How you doing, sir?
What's going on, man? I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Doing
well. Thanks for accepting the invitation, man. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, for sure. I've been watching. I like y'all's channel. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely, it was easy for me to say yes when you reached out, for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for accepting again, man. Thanks for watching the channel. You know, fresh off the reunion, man. Before we even get into the reunion, before we even get into any of Ready to Love, who is Rashid?
Man, Rashid, that's a good question. You sounded like Adriana's dad.
Well, I'm a therapist, but not on that.
Rashid is just a fun-loving, hardworking, determined family man. Who's all about trying to get myself, my name, my last name to the next level to follow a lineage, and that came from my grandfather and my father, which is my grandfather's my mom's side and my actual dad. I don't take myself too serious. I like to have a lot of fun. I'm a big kid, but also, love to live life and like to, work hard. So to provide for my family, man. And that's about it, man. I don't think I'm super deep or complicated.
Got you.
I want to say, I think we kind of got that vibe from the show, that you're a real down to earth, fun loving guy. And I think that's why we really like, man, Rashid is cool. As we watching the show, some of the guys really stuck out, and you really stuck out to us. Just, I guess you kind of reminded us of some people we went to school with. Just a round-the-way guy, real cool.
Yeah. That's cool. I appreciate it. It didn't start out that way for some reason, but it's all good.
Right.
Yeah, but you find that HBCU grads here went to Coppin State University. We know you went to Alabama A&M.
Yeah.
And you played ball there. How do you end up at Alabama A&M? And how was your HBCU experience?
Oh, I loved it, man. Coming out of high school, I was deciding on where to go to college to play ball, and one of my good buddies, who was 2 years ahead of me, was playing at Arkansas Little Rock, right? And then at the time, I was a late signee because I hadn't made a decision yet, and then things were starting to move around, and then I was going to go the junior college route, and even though I was a qualifier grade wise, I just wanted to go there because I wanted to up my recruiting. I wanted to go to Division I, so I could have left junior college in a year because I qualified out of high school because I had good grades or whatever. But my buddy was playing at Arkansas Little Rock at the time, and I know y'all know this name, Wimp Sanders.
Yeah,
from Maryland.
Yeah,
no, he didn't coach Maryland, did he? Anyway, no, that was another guy from Maryland. But anyway, legendary coach. He coached at Alabama for a long time.
Right.
But anyway, he saw me and wanted me to go to Arkansas Little Rock. So he sent me to a junior college in Alabama, right outside of Birmingham, small town called Jasper, right?
Okay.
So I went there, and I was supposed to go to Arkansas Little Rock the next year. But he ended up retiring, so they brought in a whole new coaching staff, and they went another direction. And at the time, my roommate was from Huntsville, Alabama. So we used to travel up to Huntsville, Alabama from Birmingham every weekend we had a chance to. We kicking it on the yard at Alabama A&M, and we having a great time. And then so word got out I was up there all the time, and the coaches was like, we got a chance at, getting this guy to, right down the street. So anyway, they started recruiting me, and I had already loved the experience at Alabama A&M, so I signed at Alabama A&M and went there. And I had a phenomenal time.
Yeah, ain't nothing like an HBCU.
Nothing like an HBCU.
And this was brought up on the show as well, man. You're Kappa Alpha Psi, right?
Yeah, to the day I die.
Yeah, what made you choose Kappa?
Man, no other choice, man. That was the only way for me to go, brother. But in actuality, man, some old heads that was in high school ahead of me, they went to college and they ended up pledging Kappa, and some guys that I was already cool with and looked up to them in general, not just from that standpoint. And then, so me and my best friend at the time in high school, we had a plan like, hey, we're going to go to college and pledge Kappa. And he ended up going to Fisk in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And he pledged before me because we weren't on the yard at that point. And then just one of my closest friends, rest in peace, he actually died a few years ago. One of my teammates at Alabama A&M was also a Kappa. And I knew already that way I was going, but me locking in with him, it was just a no-brainer. So, yeah, I definitely pledged Kappa in 2001, and that was my only decision. If I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have pledged.
Oh, wow.
Got you. But let's get to Ready to Love, man. Ready to Love. I know everybody's just coming in waiting for Ready to Love. You know, the first question we'll jump out with: how did you end up on Ready to Love? You know, coming out of a relationship, being married for 10 years. How did you end up on Ready to Love?
Well, I had no idea that they were casting for a Houston crew for Ready to Love. I had heard of it because I know London, because he's also a Kappa, and London used to live in Houston.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
So I just remember him promoting it on his social media. But, I never really checked out the show. I just knew of it. And then it's funny, I was out, I met my cousin who's an attorney here, big time attorney, Rodney Jones here in Houston. And I was like, you know what? I've been in the house a long time. Let me just get out. I want to have a drink. Like, cuz, where you at? And he said, man, come on out. I got a group of lawyers with me. We're just hanging out, having some drinks. So, all right, cool. I'll pull up. So I pulled up and we were just hanging out. There's a bunch of people there, guys and girls. And Simone happened to be there. So I met Simone with my cousin and some other attorneys. And we were just all talking. And she was like, just asking around the room, were you single? And I said, yes. And said, man, you should be on this show. I'm about to be on Ready to Love. You're coming to Houston. You didn't heard about it? It was like, I heard about it. I didn't know they were coming to Houston. I said, yeah. And I think they needed more men because I think they were already on the show. And she was kind of helping them out, trying to find guys. And then I was like, I thought it was all Cap. I'm like, whatever, I'm
right.
Okay, yeah, I'm interested. So we exchanged numbers. And then that was I think on a Friday. And Sunday, I get a text from a 310 number, which is LA. And it was like, hey, your name was given to us. So you want to be on the show, XYZ. I was like, okay. So I did my application and the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah, that's that story there, man. But then when did y'all find out that was going, Ready to Love season 1 and season 2 was done in the hometown? As you mentioned, it was casted for Houston. When did you find out, what, y'all guys were going to go to Georgia because of the pandemic?
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, we were supposed to initially start filming May and June, starting in May and then going through June, late May and June, this past summer. So when the pandemic hits, everything was on course to start. Pandemic hits in March, so that's 2 months out from May. So at this point, I'm thinking there's no way. Like, how can you have a dating show where you have to be around people and then there's this worldwide pandemic? So at that point, I just kind of put it in the back of my mind, just kept it moving. And then a month or so would go by, they'd reach out, hey, we're still, trying to figure things out. We're going to work on this, that, and the third and try to get it done. I'm like, but I knew at one point, I said, you know what? The people that do this for a reason. That's well above my pay grade. They're going to try to figure it out. So then, hey, they came to us, hey, we got a resort idea. And initially, I think we were going to go out of the country because they were asking if we had passports. And then from what I heard, I don't know this to be fact, that everybody didn't have a passport to do that. So then they, shifted to Georgia. So, I was open to it and they said we could be there possibly 28 days. And so I had to really think about it. I told them they gave me 48 hours to get back with them. So I decided to do it, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah. And, when you get to the resort, we see when you get to the resort, y'all mingling and mixing. Who was your eye on first? Who did you know what, when it came up, I know everybody didn't come at the same time, but when you looked there like, okay, I'm going to try to approach this person here.
Man, that's a good question. Because it came in different. They let them in the room on at different times, but I don't know what order, but definitely Simone for sure. Because although I had met her and she told me about the show, we never hung out after that night I met her for whatever reason. But And then me and Winter had a really good conversation. They never showed it. Me and Winter had a really good conversation at the mixer. I had a great conversation with Joy as well. So I was attracted to all three of those. And then obviously Adriana.
Wow.
And Alex. Alex.
Oh yeah, you can't forget Miss Alex.
Yeah. No, Alex was always in my top 3 too. So yeah, definitely Alex. But you know what? We didn't really talk that much at the mixer. We started getting to know each other a little during the process. Early on though, but not at the mixer so much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you said you went out with your cousin and you met Simone, was that something that kind of piqued your interest? And then, like you said, you didn't get a chance to hang out with her, but you got to see her at the resort. So that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. And that was one part, and we're gonna get to the other, but that was one part that I really enjoyed. You all's date. I was like, man, Rashid is scoring points with me. I love it. I love it. And I'm glad that she liked it too.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very thoughtful, and I could tell you put thought into it, and you said that too. I was like, see, I don't know. These ladies is slipping. they slipping on Rashid.
Was that one of your best dates that you went on?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I said that in previous interviews for sure. That was one of the best ones. 100%.
Completely. Totally your whole idea, or did production help you a little bit? That whole idea was yours for the back of the truck? Because like you said, we know people now that sit on the back of the truck and have lunch and dinner and enjoy, and they enjoy it.
Yeah. No, production had a hand in it. I'm not gonna take all the credit for that. Yeah, they had a hand in it, but I still have to execute it.
Yes,
that's right, and you executed quite well.
Made me step my game up.
Man,
what's up? Y'all gotta still date each other.
Yeah. I know that's right.
Yeah.
I like to say this is when we date. This is we kind of date watching Ready to Love.
Yeah, I've heard so much of that. Like, man, what we gonna do Friday nights? Me and my wife or my girlfriend, man, we're looking forward to Friday nights. One of my good friends in Atlanta, he's newly engaged, and that was their thing. Fridays, he was like, man, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like just a little bit like we've been doing that since college. We met in college.
Okay.
So we've always had a TV like date night. If it wasn't the practice, we're Trekkies. So we watched Star Trek.
Wow, okay.
I think it was Deep Space Nine then. So yeah. That's always a good date, at home.
And I think now another thing that I think helped the show Fridays, because typically, Fridays is a tough night in my opinion. But most people are home now because we're still kind of quarantined. Like some cities, like Houston, is
right.
Yeah.
But it gives people, you got more of a captive audience because most people are staying home still.
They definitely are. Yeah. One of the funniest parts of the show that we saw, and with dealing with you, is you talking to the couch. Now, look, you quick-witted. I understand.
I loved it.
That was the most hilarious thing. We went back a couple of times and had a laugh at it.
Right. Yeah.
Was that real quick that you she talk to the couch? Did you just like, okay, I'm just gonna talk to the couch, or did somebody prompt you? Or you like, you know what? I'm just gonna hey, you know what? You're not ready to love.
Yeah. So I'm a salesperson, so I got to be quick with it. But how that happened, to be honest, I'm gonna be 100. One, I never thought they was gonna show that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It was brilliant that they did because everybody loved that scene.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So Naya's reaction was real, obviously, and then she got into a back and forth with production. The gentleman that walked her down from outside, and because initially I said you're not ready to continue in this process, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the show is Ready to Love, so they wanted me to redo it and say, hey, Naya, I think you're great, but you're just not ready to love. And that's when she had a problem with that because she didn't want that title on her. And that's when she, did what she did. And then y'all can do whatever, y'all got to come back. And they were like, well, I have to do this. Not me, but production. And then production told her, well, we'll film without you. And then people were like, all right, we'll stay to the couch.
Wow.
Couch. Right. But honestly, in my mind, I thought they were going to do some super impose, put her there.
Right.
And already turned and said, you're not ready for this process. So I thought they was going to do some crazy TV stuff and do that. So when I saw it shown, I was like, oh. And it actually was brilliant. And then I always talk about this all the time because people always ask me, I love Nia. That is my dog. Like, and people are like, why you love? Because she's somewhat misunderstood, but she's a firecracker. She's super fun to be with, and like the day or two later, she texted her, called me and apologized. She said, Rashid, that wasn't towards you. Nia was just upset. She was ready to go. She was just over the whole process.
Yeah, I can see that. How did you get chosen to be the one that deliver the news to Nia?
I don't like, most times they kind of go in whatever pecking order they have. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I was kind of picked to do that, which I was fine with because me and Nia had a good relationship throughout the show. Yeah,
we thought that because when Chris got sent home, it was joy. I mean, because they knew each other, right? And like, they had a good relationship. Somebody would let them down easily so they can get it. Can feel it in a certain type of way.
Yeah.
And so I think that was because I always figure like, okay, why would Rashid pick for this? But then it worked out gold. It was TV magic.
Yeah,
it was TV magic. It was. And she received it.
So what were you thinking when she reacted that way?
The face you saw, I was like, that was real.
Right.
I didn't know she was going. I didn't know she was going left. So yeah, I was stunned, just like I'm sure production was. So that was all genuine when that happened, because that wasn't a reshoot this type moment. That was real organic.
Right. And when you saw the outside stuff for production at the reunion, was that the first time you saw it, or you saw it when it aired, when she was walking with production like, yo, I need you to come back, and she was like, hey, don't touch my microphone. Was that your first time seeing that?
Yes. So that's what I've been trying to do, because I would do a live every Friday after the show, like stuff that we weren't there for filming. We're just seeing that with the audience as well. Like, I heard that, she cut up a little bit. That's all we heard. I didn't see, you just hear rumors and stuff. So like the confessionals, when people are by themselves, we're seeing that with you guys.
Right.
Other people went on dates. I wasn't the third wheel on these dates, so I didn't see this stuff.
Right.
It was kind of cool too. We saw stuff that we had never seen.
Got you.
Yeah, because at the reunion, your face was priceless when she was like, my boyfriend go pick me up in Atlanta. You was like, whoa, okay. Yeah. And to find out that she says, I was just talking trash.
That's Nia. Nia is so funny. Oh man, what she really said, she was just talking the S word, but man, she's so funny.
Yeah, she is definitely. When you got into it and you saw Adriana and you recognized, yo, this is a chick I went out with before. This is a girl that, we had a date with. And, she said on the show and in interviews that it was a ghosting. I know you mentioned that, it was a mutual thing that you guys both decided to, not date each other again or see each other again. Right. When you saw on the show where you're like, you know what, this may be the universe, this may be the world, this might be the person I really want to be with.
Yeah, well, this is definitely the person I want to see what could be. Because we didn't get an opportunity to do so. So that's why I was genuinely excited to see her. And I think people was kind of seeing my character. Like, I can't really fake much. I'm not really great at that. So that was genuine for me when I said, oh, what? You're here? And I'm thinking, what happened? And I'm like, okay, if I'm here and you're here, then we're both saying that we're ready to love. So let's see what it is. Now we've got a real clean slate. Because from that one date we went on, there was nothing negative about it. It was just it wasn't the right timing. So that's why I didn't have any ill will towards her. And obviously she didn't either. So yeah, that's what I was excited to see if there's something there.
While we on Adriana, your whole process you went through with Adriana. You also had a date with Simone, you had a date with Alex. Do you feel like that you have put so much into Adriana that you didn't pursue other relationships?
No, I'm okay with the way I did it. I don't really have a whole lot of regrets in life in general. I think they're all learning moments. But what they didn't show, I was actively dating Simone and Alex before they started showing me dating them on the show.
Okay.
But admittedly, yeah, Adriana was soon after, maybe even immediately, my number one. But I did have an opportunity to plant seeds in other females. It's been enough time, I thought. You may ask them if they thought different, but I think I did.
So along those lines, dealing with Adriana, so did you find out at the reunion that she and Calfani weren't together anymore?
No, I knew. We had talked. Me and Adriana had talked shortly after getting back from the resort. So, she shared that with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you feel a little bit of like, see, you shouldn't mess with me. You shouldn't mess with him.
Right. No, I didn't. I'm 100%. I didn't feel that, because to me, that's kind of vengeful or petty. And I try not to be that type of person. So I was really there to be an ear for her because I've always had love for her as a friend. Like I knew Adriana as a friend, like when she was like super young, like early 20s, just because I was a promoter at the time. So I was social and she was a bartender. And, one day it was so funny. I met her mom the same night I met her. She was behind the bar at Twin Peaks. And me and a buddy of mine just having drinks and her mom was there. And there wasn't that many people. We're all sitting at the bar just cutting up. And her mom is hilarious. Her mom is so, so cool. So, and then Adriana's sitting there serving us all drinking. We're getting almost sloppy drunk, just having a great time with her mom. And I was a happily married man at the time. I never even crossed that.
Right.
It's just a cool girl that, hey, now I see it now. It's funny. Every time I would go out, I would see Adriana behind the bar. And then I never paid for a drink. And she always would try to get my ass drunk. Like, I'm like, because I'm not a big drinker.
Right.
So I don't even remember what your question was, but.
No, you good.
Yeah, you good.
No, you good. Hey,
you answered it.
But when you guys were competing, you and Calfani, did you guys talk about Adriana at all? Or did you guys have conversation? Or did you guys stay away from each other knowing that he was dating her and you was dating her a while as well? Did you guys talk like, dog, I really like her, dog, things like that nature?
No, we didn't share Adriana stories, but we talked a lot. Like Calfani's super cool. Like we got a lot of mutual friends in Houston. So yeah, we hung out and talked a lot. But I didn't think that was necessary for us to share stories or notes because we just knew what it was and we respected each other. Mm-hmm. And we would just talk about other stuff, sports, working out, and stuff back home, and how we're gonna maybe talk some business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, that's one of the things I think I saw. I think there's some difference between some cast members. Some understood it that it was a competition, and some took it seriously.
Yeah.
It is the competition. Were you able to separate the two?
Yeah. But in competition, I'm come from a competitive background. So in competition, if you're good at competition, it becomes personal as well. So I think there's a mix of both. For you to be good in competition, you got to take some things personal. But I'm not a jealous person. So with her seeing me seeing her with him and knowing that she's feeling him and they're dating. And then I said that when we were talking, listen, I'm focused on me and you. I don't want to know or care to know anything that's going on between you and that's y'all. Do your thing. And they didn't show this, but I was telling her because some of the women in general were complaining about some of the guys wasn't being as aggressive trying to date the other women because they felt it was bro code. Like, okay, I don't want to go talk to Joy because she's feeling Jay and Jay's feeling her. So I'm going to give them that respect and vice versa. So me and Adriana had that conversation. Unbeknownst to me, she had already said the comment in the group that I was her man. So I guess that may have gotten back to the other guys. And they could also see me and her really vibing out. So it was kind of a bro code. And we had a conversation around the pool. I said, hey, listen, go do your thing. Date these other guys. Be open to it. I'm not telling them to stay away from you. And I'm going to do the same. So I definitely knew the competition and okay with, what was going on.
Right, because it backfired. We see it backfired on Brian a little bit when you just date kind of one person. When he did with Alex, It kind of backfired. He didn't quit nobody else vouching for him.
Right. I think Brian was dating other women, but even Alex admitted they kind of locked in early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Even just like Denice and Calfani. And
Right.
I think that's what my husband was getting at. It's like, you understand. That's why I say it's a competition. Like, it's like, we're not in a track meet or nothing, but I mean, it's a competition.
Yeah.
And it's way different from like The Bachelor, where you got this one man and all these women. It's a whole pool of people. And so you have to go into an understanding, hey, this person is going to date somebody else. And so I can't get in my feelings about it.
Right.
I can't feel no type of way, because they got to feel us all out.
Right.
And I really felt like Denice, well, what they showed, because I mean, we can only see what the producers put together, but it really looked like she said on the reunion, I'm not a jealous person, I'm not, but they really made it look like she was like, oh no, you don't mess with Calfani, she trying to come at me, what's wrong with her? Like, she didn't understand the format, like everybody's gonna date people.
Right. Two things. Like, some may say I locked in with Adriana too early, or made her my number one. But at the same time, yes, I did do that. But at the same time, I was open. I wasn't trying to smother her and handcuff her. Like, all right, like, go do your thing, go date, go. I'm gonna do the same. But you're at the top of my list right now. As far as Denice is concerned, I saw what you guys saw when she was on her interactions and talking to him in the back and stuff like that. So I was asked if she was a jealous person in real life. I don't know that, because I could only know that and make that call on somebody that I'm dating or dealing with.
Right.
Me. So but I see from a viewer standpoint, it definitely looked like she wasn't really understanding the full scope of the process.
Yeah.
While we talking about Denice, it seemed when the way they showed on the show, y'all first interaction wasn't a good one. When you went to get her to drink, and I know you didn't see the interview later or the back part, which you're like, oh, he's full of himself. And I know that came up a lot during this episode. They talked about it on the reunion about being a narcissist. Your thoughts on that when you watched it?
So I had heard it from multiple people, not only Adriana, afterwards. And I was genuinely hurt by it, because I don't feel that I exhibit those traits. So I had never heard my name associated with that. So I was angry, I was hurt and upset by it. And our interaction, I know it didn't go great, but I didn't think it would go all the way to her making that assumption of me.
Right.
With the drink situation. And then on top of that, though, so then when you see that, then shortly after that, then Winter chimes in with the Nordstrom's comment. So it almost felt like Denice made Winter comfortable to say that. So now narcissist, pretentious, leads this, and then now it's starting to spiral the first few weeks until people really got to know me.
Yeah, that's what my next question. Do you think the Nordstrom comment that you shop at Nordstrom really made people think, what, this guy is kind of snobby, or he's really full of himself?
Yeah, I 100% get that when you see it as a viewer. And I was just, when did I do? I was on live last night on Facebook with Shay from season 1.
Right.
And she understands what I was saying. So let me tell you behind the backstory of the Nordstrom's comment. So we were going out of town, obviously, to Georgia for the show. Meanwhile, if you hear, Houston is always on the news at least once a year for hurricanes or flooding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a hurricane en route. So production said, listen, we're going to get you guys out of here 2 days prior to then you're scheduled to leave to beat this hurricane. So that was the day of.
Okay.
Hey, get out of town. We got a plane for you. You can get out of town here. Okay. I was like, well, I think I can make this, because I was 90% packed, right? A couple of days or a day before that, production, or I get an email or a production call to say, hey, do you have any pajamas? Because we may have some type of pajama function at the resort. I don't want no damn pajamas. I'm a former hooper. I wear hooping shorts to bed, no shirt, or tank top, wife beater. I don't. Yeah, if it gets cold outside, when it's cold, rarely in Houston, I put some long johns on.
Right.
But every time, I'm 6'6", I wear a 15 size shoe. Everybody knows, if you're my height, you know where to shop, where stuff fits you.
Right.
So I'm going straight to Nordstrom's to get me some nice pajamas. So when we're talking about that, there's something called hard ice when you're in production. They tell us to go hard ice when they don't want us to talk about anything that needs to be filmed. So that could be the cameraman swapping out battery or cameraman taking a break, and we're sitting in a setting to where we're still talking. Well, they don't want us. They want us on ice because they don't want us to talk about anything juicy that needs to be filmed.
Right.
And they say, hey, keep it super PC. Don't talk about nothing that needs to be on camera. So I started the question off because we had just got rushed there. I was like, hey, guys, where were y'all when y'all got the call to get out of town same day? Some people were able to make it, some people weren't. I remember KG was like, man, I was at the station. I just jumped in and got half packed, and I called a buddy, a friend of mine, hey, go to the cleaners and ship my stuff. I'm got to get out of here. And it came around to me, and I said, man, I got the call. I was in the middle of Nordstrom's buying pajamas. And that was on ice. I didn't think that was going to be shown. And they didn't say all that. So it looks like I led with, hey, guys, guess what? I buy pajamas at Nordstrom.
Right.
Who does that? I don't lead with it. Who leads with that?
Right.
I was like, they got me on that one. But yeah, it is what it is. I do shop at Nordstrom's. Nordstrom shop. Hey, holla at your boy. Hey, let's do it.
I ain't mad at you, dog. Holla at us too. Yeah. Right.
But now I wasn't leading with that. I don't do that kind of stuff.
Got it.
I like what you said though, for real. Yeah, when you're super tall or super shapely or short, you got to know where to go. Yeah, I ain't got time to play. I'm gonna go right where I know I can find my size, and it's gonna be what it is. Yeah,
right. Absolutely.
On the same line with you and Denice, it also came up, the color situation, colorism, and it didn't stay on there long. Even in the reunion, it wasn't really brought up too much. Did that hurt you as well? The blacks, like the light skin thing, the dark skin thing. Was that an issue at the resort between you guys?
No, it was just in the context she said it, and that equaled narcissistic traits. So that, because when it was told, I was like, light skin fraternity and something else. Yeah, facts.
Right.
But I didn't feel slighted by that. That as far as to separate that as just the colorism, I entangled that with all the narcissistic stuff. So
okay.
But colorism, excuse me, as we all know, that still exists, but that it doesn't bother me in that way. That you acting light skinned stuff, I see that and that just goes. I don't. It doesn't affect me.
And it seemed like it touched Tommy a little bit too, because again, both y'all light skinned, both y'all bald head, both y'all nuked, and it seemed like all that was like, okay, dang, you calling him narcissistic, so you must be talking about me as well. Did you feel that?
Say again.
Well, did you feel that? Was that something that was brought up with you guys? All you guys talking about it, the men talking about it. Was Tommy really feeling some type of way? Was that really production? Like this is something that you.
I heard he was feeling a type of way because remember in that setting it's only the women.
Right.
We didn't hang around with them. We didn't. Tommy was in his own private villa. He had people cooking for him along with Edwin. He had his own little. He had a golf cart and stuff. We didn't see. We didn't see him until we normally came to that. Tommy's Tavern, and we saw him. The most time we got to hang with him without it being him giving us assignments or questioning who we like was at the cookout.
Right.
But Tommy. So I didn't know he didn't express that to the guys how it made him feel.
Gotcha.
So wait, you said so Tommy had his own suite, people cooking for him, and you threw it in Edwin.
But Edwin went over there. I think before he left, he requested Edwin to come cook for him.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was dope. Tommy's super duper genuine and down to earth guy, and just real cool. So yeah, he invited Edwin over there. We didn't get an invite, but I'd like some leftovers or something.
I feel you.
Did y'all get a chance to enjoy Shay's cooking while y'all were there too?
I did not. Now Shay has done a lot of cooking for some castmates since that time, and I think Shay's putting together a Taco Tuesday this Tuesday for the cast. So I definitely want to try to check that out. I got a couple of interviews lined up, but I'm going to try to make it. But I can't wait to have her try her food as well.
Hold on. One of our viewers asked, who really cooked the food at the cookout?
Tommy was cooking it for sure.
Okay.
Tommy, me and Tommy from like the same area of town. Tommy, like, he's from north side of Houston, and he went to, actually what's funny, he went to the same high school that Denice went to.
Okay.
So yeah, I know Tommy's background. I knew Tommy a little bit, just growing up, because my aunt used to own a comedy club here in Houston. Well, my play aunt used to own a comedy club here in Houston called Just Joking, and Tommy used to work out of there, like do his comedy and stand up. I've seen so many up and coming comedians come through there. Mike Epps, Earthquake, whole bunch of guys. So in the summers I come home from college, I would work there. Me and my buddies, her two sons, and we would help out. And then Tommy was there working, so he didn't really know. I was a 19, 20-year-old kid. He was, grown, but yeah, I knew him a little bit then. So yeah, Tommy did cook the food, and I think Edwin jumped in and helped out.
Yeah, them wings, I don't know if somebody's saying this now or then. It said just made me hungry. Them wings was looking good.
They were good. They were good too.
Other question, when you guys, the morning that you guys found out about Joy's sister, how did you guys find out?
That setting with Tommy, like some of the girl, most of the girls knew, because I think, don't quote me on this, but I think they were over in what we call the Love Lounge. That was attached to Tommy's Tavern. That's where you saw the pool, where we play pool,
right?
And stuff. That was the Love Lounge. I think they were over there or coming out of Tommy's Tavern, and she was giving the news then. So the girls, I think, were around. And from what I understand, I mean, she let out a yell, and so, like, just would make anybody fall to their knees, like when she, just a gasp, and just when she found out about it. And so when we got called, I just heard about it then when we were sitting on the couch when Tommy gave us the news. And obviously Jay knew, because Jay was by her side the whole time.
Right.
Yeah. That was one part of the reunion that was like shocking. When they showed the scene that we didn't see before, where Denice was like, Joy wanted me to tell y'all XYZ elemental P. And then they come back to the couch, and Joy was like, wait a minute. I did not say that.
Still classy too. She put that mama finger up, that church finger. I did not craft that.
When did I have time to craft a message like that? That was like, I'm like, Denice, we've seen you at different light this whole time, but that one right there was like, wow. She said, I wanted Joy to speak through me. Right. And when they cut, and y'all were like, she gonna say anything to us, why wouldn't she tell Jay to tell us?
Right.
Yeah, tell you for what?
Your reaction on that was priceless. Like, your mouth dropped, like, dang. That, like, because, like, y'all was really feeling like, oh, that dang. When she said it, everybody was like, yeah, that's sweet. Oh, man, she did that. And then wasn't anybody thinking, like, I don't know about that?
Now, some of my castmates, and I can't, honest, not even lying, I can't remember who said that they felt it was kind of fabricated in that moment. Of course, and that's why Jay was so upset. But Jay was like, he was, he's a man about it, being classy about it. Didn't want to bring it up in that setting because he was hurting, and I'm sure he didn't want to challenge her in that moment. So he let that slide. And then I think some of the other people said I kind of wasn't feeling that was coming from Joy. I didn't feel like but when I was at the reunion, or when I saw it, I was like, word. Then it started making sense. Like, yeah, when did she have time to give her that time? Because I never saw them being that close. I saw her and Winter really having a good close knit relationship, and then Denice was in that. Anytime you got 20 people, some people click up, not negative type thing, just it happens. But Jay was with her the whole time. So then when I saw it, I was like, wow, yeah, how could that have happened? Because Jay was by her side, taking care of her or being there for her the whole time.
Yeah, because you gravitate to certain people, and you see people who click up or have more things in common than other people.
Right.
That's what I was about to say. I think probably the ladies probably too was like, well, I know I be talking to Joy and you be talking to Joy, but did she talk to her? I'm sure the ladies knew more than anything. Like, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing, you go back to Adriana real quick. You had a meeting with her dad. They didn't show many. What were some of the questions dude really asked you guys
that we didn't see?
Was he really trying to dig into, like, okay, you know, what are your intentions with my daughter? Do you really love her? Do you care about her?
How are you a human?
How are you a human? You've been married before, you know, what are your, you know, the age difference, you know, was he really trying to dig into you guys like most fathers would be?
Yeah, he definitely asked me the human element, the human question. And he asked me, I want to say about my previous marriage and having a child. Other than that, I really can't, I don't even lie to you. I don't remember the other stuff, but I don't remember him asking like, what are your intentions with my, I could be wrong, but I don't remember that. That probably would have stood out a little more, but I don't remember the other stuff he asked me.
Yeah, it looked like he was really digging into y'all.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, I get it. I get it. I didn't have any issue with it.
Yeah. So with that, that's when the family came to meet who people were dating. And you said on there you made the choice not to have your sister come out because that was kind of where you and Adriana, you know, you knew y'all were on kind of shaky ground then, that she was more attracted to Calfani, or going the Calfani way. And so my question is, if y'all had been in a better place, would you have had your sister come out? Did you feel like y'all were at the point where you would have had your family meet her?
Sure. But like you said, I just saw the energy shifting, and I was okay with that. And like you know, I've said this multiple times. I didn't. Yeah, I was all in, and you know, I put my cards on the table, but I was okay going into it, living with the results. Yeah, I definitely would have if I felt that we were gonna continue to move forward. Because at that point, I was pretty certain I wanted to self-eliminate, and that's why I wanted to talk to my sister and get her perspective.
You know, that's another question. Did production stop anybody from self-eliminating? Because people start continuing to, and we know Jay self-eliminated. Edwin self-eliminated when Joy left because that was what we saw. That was his only. You know that he really appreciated Joy. Both of them had Joy as 1 and 2. If people continue to self-eliminate, most of the guys will be gone at that point.
Right, and I'm sure the production does not want that 100%. But to give you behind the curtains, I did talk to production prior to and tell them I wanted to self-eliminate. I was thinking about self-eliminating. And this was around the family time. And production was, they were open to it. They didn't try to talk me out of it, but they did say, hey, do us a favor. And production had been great to me. I didn't have any issues with them. And I was, you know, I was a perfect, you know, I was always on time. I made sure I handled my part of it as well. So I definitely want to give them that respect. And I told them, hey, you guys, you know, I'll go, you know, I'll do what you need me to do for production value. As far as me, you know, in a scene from what you need, but I need to be genuine and honest to tell you guys how I'm feeling. So they're like, okay, well, let's do this. We'll have you talk to Tommy, and then we'll have you talk to your sister. So me and Tommy had a long, drawn-out conversation that was never showed because I ended up staying. So it was just me and Tommy at night on the don't know what to call it, not the gazebo, but kind of like the where you saw at the end where the boat dock, right?
Yeah, boat dock, yeah.
Walk out to the water. So me and him had this night scene set up. You know, we're talking, and I'm telling him how I'm feeling about, you know, I feeling that, you know, I put all my cards in. You know, I've shown her, you know, I wanted to be with her. I felt that, you know, I put my best foot forward, and, you know, I'm okay with that. And she might not feel that way, but I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with, you know, losing, because as being a competitor, you always trying to win, but I don't never seen anybody who's undefeated.
Right.
For their whole life. You're going to take some losses. So me and him were talking, and I was kind of sharing that with him. And he said, listen, do me a favor before you self-eliminate, talk to your sister, see what she thinks about it, and then you make your determination. I support you either way. But so not many people know that, obviously, because, you know, that was never shown because I decided to stay.
Right.
So you got an exclusive right there.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate it.
That.
So talking to your sister really kind of sealed the deal for you that, you know, it's like, it is what it is.
Well, it is. What sealed the deal for me is to go with your gut. right?
Got you.
So at that moment, my gut was not to self-eliminate. And that was a split decision that I made in that conversation with Adriana on that bench. Now there was other stuff obviously said that was edited out. So I don't know the order in which they put it in, but that meeting with her was for me to self-eliminate, hands down. I was gone.
Right.
And the conversation continued, and at a split second, I decided to stay for a couple different factors. And I can answer that as well if you have any other questions.
No. What was your factors that you wanted to stay?
So as we're talking, I'm telling her, listen, and then here comes the whole chase versus court, right? And it wasn't shown because she said that I don't know what that means. What's the difference? Because I want someone to chase me. And she didn't mean it maliciously, but I tell her, okay, courting is a form of that, right? Mm-hmm. Chasing it's a key fundamental. When someone's running away, you chase after them, right? Right. But so what I was telling her, I didn't say that. What I said was, when I feel I'm selling myself to you, to me, that becomes a point of chasing, because what I said, well, we've gone on multiple dates. I've told you how I feel. I've been, I've courted you. I checked on you. I was super chivalrous. I was kind. And we, at this point, and I said that about him, I'm going to give you the space you need to make your decision, because at this point, there's no more dates I can go on. There's no more dates he can go on. There's no more sweet nothings I can whisper in your ear. So to me, if I'm the pick me guy, or if I'm trying to sell myself to you, then that's not organic. And I can explain that in that setting. And she disagreed, and she told me she felt like I was giving up. So then I listened. And then when I said, you know what, maybe let me take that critique, let me take that constructive criticism and reevaluate myself, because I'm not perfect. Let me look myself in the mirror. So right when she said that, along with the fact, okay, you feel I'm giving up or quitting. Okay. I started thinking about, I teach my son, or I taught the kids when I used to coach school or coach basketball, finish what you start.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All that's going in my mind right there, like in a split second. And I was like, you know what? The narrative of me is going to be a quitter, quitting or giving up, even though I know she's going to go this other route in my gut.
Yeah.
At the same time, my gut told me, you know what? Just finish what you started. And with that being said, when you get sent home, if it's during the middle of the day, you're not going home till in the morning, more than likely, right?
Right.
Out of there, they send you to another hotel because they don't know if you're going to go just start you mad. So, and I know that from talking to other people, because we had texted other people when they got home. So meeting her dad was the same day. That night, right?
Mm-hmm.
So mind you, I'd already had my conversation with Tommy the night before, which nobody knew about, right?
Right.
Him late night, we talked, right? That was after 9, maybe 10 o'clock. So I'm like, you know what? Her dad's here. We mentioned her dad, wanted to meet her dad. I was like, you know what? Let's go. Let's finish the process. Finish what you started. And I'm meeting her dad tonight. So, and it was over. Either she's going to eliminate me, and I'm going home in the morning anyway. So let me finish this process out. Let me meet Pops, because it was the same day.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Wow.
The other thing about, at the reunion, this is a question from one of our viewers. At the reunion, while you was trying to explain her and Calfani over there whispering, did you feel kind of like, dang, when Tommy pointed it out, like, dog, you at least listen to me? Like, what's going on? I'm trying to tell you this situation, or tell you what's going on or how I feel, and you're ignoring me.
Yeah. Tommy was more upset by that than I was. I didn't really see it that much, because, when you're asked a question, you look at the person who asks you the question.
Absolutely.
Right.
Looking at him, I don't know how he saw it out of his peripheral. He brought it up, and then I looked over there, and because when was that? Because that was the second time he came to me. Because this is when he was asking me, do I see anything going forward with me and her now that she's single?
Right.
And I said more than what was shown, and I don't know at what point he caught that, but I was looking at him. So that I wasn't offended by it, because I didn't even really see it. And now seeing it back, I still wasn't offended, because I just, it is what it is at that point. And maybe he initiated it or she did. From what I understand, he was just trying to explain his case, like telling her, I wasn't trying to play you. I was being genuine. And that's more for him to explain. But yeah, I don't really feel a way about it now. I'm not upset by it. I didn't feel disrespected.
Yeah, I feel what you were saying. I felt like Tommy was madder about it than you were. I
Right.
think he had them parent ears on, so
Right.
he's trying to listen to you
Yeah.
or like the teacher in the front of the room. Who's talking?
Right,
Who's
because
talking?
I think he knows. Well, everybody knows I was talking. It was the question, so they were present in the moment.
Right.
But we had just come off of boom, what happened with him and her, and then boom, you go to me. So they had some dialogue that they needed to finish, and it's just unfortunate the timing of it.
Can you clarify your ages and stages comment? You talk about ages and you was at stages, and then she came back with another comment saying, you wouldn't be saying that if we were together.
Yeah,
and you never got a chance to respond to that.
Right. To be honest with you, I didn't hear her when she said that.
Okay.
Wow.
Really didn't. I did not hear her say that when she said that. I heard it when I saw it with you guys. I was like, okay, that's interesting. But ages and stages, I clarified that to her when we talked because she did have an issue with that. And my ages and stages was just overall, and I explained this when we were talking. Tommy, when he asked me, hey, there was a pretty significant age gap between you two. I didn't say, hey, there's this age gap, there's 10 years apart. Only time I use the word 10 years is saying I was married 10 years, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So Tommy asked me that, and I said, we just have some different views on overall life things, right? Like, because we had tons of conversation about life, marriage, children, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being married previously, I would tell her, I love marriage. I want to be married again. I feel better as a man married. However, marriage is not easy. It takes work, right? And there were way more good years in my marriage than bad. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. However, going into my next marriage, I want to have those tough conversations up front. And we talk about those things and how we're going to try to act through those, right? And how long have you all been married?
19 years.
Right. So if any young person trying to get married before they get married, if they ask for your advice, you wouldn't tell them it's all bubblegum and rainbows, would you?
Absolutely not.
Right. So that was my thing. I was like, Adriana, and she would kind of take that as I was being negative about the process or negative about marriage. So we kind of had a disconnect there. Right.
Mm.
So ages and stages was not her actual age. I'm saying stages of life, right? That we didn't necessarily agree upon. Right. So remember, for the comment she made, remember there's two things. I was leaving before that, before she did not pick me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And two, obviously, we're getting to know each other. So did I have an issue with the age gap in the beginning? No, because we're still getting to know each other.
Right.
I formulated that later on because we were on a dating show with 28 days. You were dating other people. So some of the things that I saw and we talked about primarily about marriage and things of that nature, I was like, okay, this could possibly be a problem for us. So yeah, I think, and I didn't really understand her logic there because if you did pick me, who knows if the ages and stages would have manifested itself a week later. And if you picked me, then of course I wouldn't have said like I would have said something different, but not, I still had those same reservations if she would have picked me.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So when she said that, it was a bit unfortunate, but I get it. We did talk after that, and she told me that the statement hurt, and she told me why it hurt. It wasn't necessarily at me because we talked prior to that, right? And she called me and she told me, when we got back, Adriana, again, super sweet girl. She surprised me for my birthday with a cookie cake. And I don't know how she knew I love cookie cakes. She surprised me. She would check on my mom because my mom had just had open heart surgery. But it wasn't from a friendship level. It wasn't anything on my end either. Like I said, we were friends long before that. And I was very comfortable with returning to that capacity with her. And then she called me and was a bit concerned about how she was going to be perceived after the reunion, right? Because she knows, we all read the blogs and all the stuff that's going on. And she knows kind of the narrative was the fact that people were saying that she was immature or she was, hold on, my son just walked in from basketball practice. Hey, man.
Hi.
How was practice?
Good.
Okay. I'll see you in a sec. Go downstairs. I'll be with you in a little bit, buddy. Sorry. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
Her in the blogs.
Yeah, so she was concerned because she kind of knew, and everybody's read this stuff, right? If people tell you they don't look at it, they're lying to you, right?
Right.
So she already saw where the narrative was coming, right? And she knew what had happened with Kelfani, right? So I was just trying to be a shoulder for her to cry on and kind of give her some motivation, say, hey, you're a great person, just go into it. I think you'll be fine. Just on what happened, you didn't do that. That wasn't on you, right? What happened with the Kelfani situation. And but I knew she was very, very concerned about people were going to pile on. She picked wrong. She's immature, this, that, and the third, right? So when I said the ages and stages, she felt it was an attack on her maturity level.
Mm-hmm.
Because her antennas were already sensitive and her antennas were
right.
Right? In the ages and stages, I know a 50-year-old man that's not as mature as a 25-year-old.
Right.
So the ages wasn't that. It was more life experience. And again, we had a possible disconnect on the whole outlook on marriage. So that's a big deal. So there wasn't an attack on her maturity or lack thereof. So after that, how intense the reunion was, I reached out to her as a friend. I sent her a text and said, hey, about a week or so later, I said, hey, I know that the reunion was pretty intense. How are you doing? Just checking on you. Hope all is well. Because, and I said this when Tommy asked me if we'd still be together. And I said, you know what? I think she's a phenomenal woman. I feel for her. I see she's in pain. I pointed to her. I see she's in pain. I can tell she's in pain from that situation. It's all over her face. So me feeling that way, I text her and reached out, say, kind of reiterating, you know, hey, I know you was in some pain, checking on you. And she didn't respond. Weeks went by. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, that's weird. I know you ain't mad at me. What you mad at me? What you mad at? Like, so she finally did reach out. And she told me she was upset with me. And she told me why. Because she felt I was piling on the narrative, all that. And she basically apologized to me about her being her friend. She said I was in my feelings. And one thing I know about Adriana, she told me this in our, intimate conversation, that when stuff happens to her, she goes to her prayer closet, so to speak, by herself and just detaches from everybody.
Right.
I was one of those people because she felt I attacked her in that moment, being the fact that she had just shared what she had shared with me. That was my own assessment of what ultimately we didn't make it, because if you hear her speak now, it's like she wasn't feeling me. She wasn't on me that way. I saw that.
Right.
Oh, that's what I was saying. I saw that and I get it. Okay, cool. I understand. No ill will. I have never had anything bad to say, and I still don't have anything bad to say about her. But she called me after that and told me what it was. And I explained to her, and she knows that. She knows that I didn't mean that way. And, so.
Yeah, I get it.
Sorry, that was kind of long-winded.
No, I get it. But you said what I was thinking. I'm sure, in that moment, like you said, she felt like it was just adding on to the narrative of some of the stuff like Denice had perpetuated, with the maturity and the difference in her age, and how Denice made the comment, oh, guys do to people what they know who they can say stuff to, they know who can do stuff to. But
and again, to her credit, she admitted she had her defenses up.
Right.
And if I would have said she was immature, I know how to communicate very well. I would have said, I think she was a little immature for me, or she wasn't. We weren't on the same level as far as maturity, and that's not it. It was just, the old folks say evenly yoked.
Yeah.
We could be the same age and not be evenly yoked, and that's what I meant.
True.
So
that's true.
Right. Different background, different experiences. One thing we learned from you is that you have a listening ear, especially the difference between some of the guys. You heard about Alex being abused, and we saw the compassion that came out in that with you being, having that conversation with her. And where did you get that listening ear from? Was it growing up? You talked about your mom and your dad a little bit and going to school. Was that because that was instilled in you to be a listener before you was a talker, to care and have compassion about other people in relationships?
Man, you know what? I've always that's a good question. I don't know where I got that from. Definitely family had a big thing to do with that, because we were really, I have a small family, but very caring family. And we cared about what made the other person tick, or what motivated the other person. So I always wanted to know that. And then being a former educator, is important for me to listen to children and kids and how they felt. And then you fast forward that, being a college coach and a head high school basketball coach, and I would have to sit across from children or teenagers and tell them, hey, in so many words, in so many terms, you're not quite good enough to play at this level. And you got to do that with kid gloves. And you got to listen to them and get that feedback. And you got to sit around and tell their parent, like, you have to listen to why little Johnny should be on the basketball team. So, and I have, you got to have compassion and empathy for those things. So, and I just, that made me a better person and a better listener. And then that ended up making me a better salesperson.
Right.
Sales, you got to, it's a reason you have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Rashid.
Why she points at me?
My husband, because my husband is a coach. He coaches football, and he's a head wrestling coach. And when I tell you, I've heard those stories. Yeah. Well, you got to tell that kid who is ready to go to the NFL, and he's not there. Yeah. Look, I got to break it to you, to the kid and the parents. And some parents don't take it well. Some kids don't take it well. But if you deliver it with enough tact, and if you showing the care and the concern with about, they take it a little bit better. But I have heard stories. Yeah.
That's primarily the reason I got out of coaching, is the parents, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
man.
The kids are awesome. I love the kids. The kids are kids. People always say, "Oh, you got out because of the kids." No, the kids keep you young. I knew all the slang, all the new songs.
Right.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Parents, it was just too much. Like, I can't. And then the school system nowadays, it seems like teachers and they're losing quality teachers, because the school system's so scared about CYA now. Nobody wants to get sued. So teachers don't, like, you've got the administration has your back. Everybody's worried about getting sued, or parents going to the superintendent. So we don't feel we have any backing. And then I can't sit across from a parent and say, you know what, your child is a phenomenal young man. He's going to go on to do great, phenomenal things. Hell, I might need a job for him one day, or I might need him to hire my son. But he's not a good basketball player. But nothing's wrong with that. That doesn't make all kind of meetings trying to get me fired and attacking my character and my personal life. It was like, man, y'all don't pay me enough for this. I'm out. I thought I was having ulcers at one point.
Wow. Man. Wow. So we have one last question. I don't know what you're about to say. Oh, we got a couple more questions. Okay. But in the comments, and I thought the same thing. Your son's voice, all us women, we just melted. Oh, he sounds so sweet.
Oh, just now? Oh, okay.
Yes, he sounds so sweet. So I just have a question related to that. Was it hard for you to leave him to go do the show?
Oh, yeah. I'd never been apart from my son.
That's what I was gonna say.
Longer than a week, or maybe less than that. It was difficult. It was real difficult. And then we had limited time with our phones.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to, one, for us not to leak anything, and two, they wanted us to be present filming. So yeah, that was the most difficult time. I think one of the producers, so I learned the trick. Like, you learn when you're there, you learn some kind of tricks of the trade. When to leave your room, when you can get out, when they don't mic you, or when there are no cameras on you. So if you get up early enough, you get up early enough before the microphone people and all that. And so I had my little daily routine. I get my coffee and I go work out on the dock, looking over the water. And I think one of the people saw me out there, one of the head producers, he saw me out there, and I'm out there crying my eyes out, just missing my son.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, and it was later. We were like 3 weeks in. And I was like, yeah, I'm good, man. What's up?
Hey, you mentioned walking out. That's one of the things you commented on. I'm talking about your skinny swole. The other brothers was there, big swole. You out there getting your skinny swole workout on with nobody looking. But other question: did you guys know Alicia was pregnant? Did y'all anybody think Anybody think that when she came to the resort, like, you know what, this girl might be pregnant?
No. I mean, she hit it well. Like, I didn't see that. I didn't see a stomach or nothing. I mean, I had no clue. Some people, you would have to ask my other castmates, but some people said they thought that they knew she was or something like that, but I had no clue.
You know.
So along with that, one of the viewers asked, how did you feel about the people that said, even like Naya, like they had stuff that was in the works when they came on the show? Like, what did you think about that? Like, okay, so if you had this person going on, you had these people, like, why come on the show?
Mm-hmm. One, the whole thing that my man in Atlanta, if y'all see, I said that was all cap. That was defense mechanism stepping in. But I think, I kind of think it's inevitable. You had 20 attractive, very successful people in a great city. I don't think nobody came out there with like zero, like no. I don't think those entanglements or the new word for the 20.
Right.
I guess I just think they weren't strong enough, or So I don't hold any. I don't begrudge anybody for doing that.
Hey, before we get at you got here, man, you run a business. You run a business, luxury car business. Tell us about, how did you get into that luxury car broker? How did you get into that business?
I got out of coaching in 2013, and I went to a buddy of mine who was at Cadillac at the time. I was actually about to buy an Escalade from him, and he had and I was talking to him. I said, "Man, I'm kind of burned out with the whole coaching thing. Man, I'm trying to look for something else to do." He was like, "Man, you should do this, bro. You would kill it." And it was in the summertime. It was early. My son was just born in May. So my son was born May 28th, and I had enough sick days. I didn't go back to school, but I was planning on going back to school in August. But I had these 2.5 months to just kind of figure out what I wanted to do. He said, "Man, just come on now." And I was still getting paid from school. So I said, "Okay, let me double dip and see if I like it." And my first full day in the car business, first full day, I sold the car the first day. And, just started rolling with the cars. I'm like, man, this is crazy. And then my first full year in the business, I was the #1 Cadillac salesperson in the city of Houston. I was like, whoa. And it came natural to me. I was like, damn, why have I been doing this all the time? So I just kind of, I fell in love with it. You're hooked. It's like golf. Like, you hate it until you hit that one shot in golf. The one shot, it brings you back every time. So it's the same thing. You get down yourself, you sell that car, and you boom, it's like a super adrenaline rush. So then, fast forward, I was really good, so I started moving up. I moved up to finance manager, moved up to sales manager, so I knew the front end and the back end of the business. And I was selling all these cars to these high-level people. I'm buying these Cadillacs, and then they would call me about other cars, just my opinion, because in sales it's all about relationships. I developed relationships. I always took care of my people. They would call me about it, and then I was like, I maybe have something there. And at the time, my son was born, he was getting older. And I really wanted to be present, like with the little league stuff, because the car business will eat you up. You working all day Saturday, you got 2 holidays and all that kind of stuff, and you barely get any time. So it'll eat you up, and I didn't want to be that. So I said, let me try this on my own. So I tried it and failed the first time and came back to Cadillac. And then, after my divorce, I was like, okay, it's time. Like, I don't have to check in with anybody and worry about someone else's, feelings about it. As long as my primary focus now is take care of my son and myself. So that's why I decided to do it and go on my own.
Yeah. So anybody watching us want to reach out to you, man, how can they reach out to you about the Cadillac, about getting luxury cars?
Definitely you can reach me at my Instagram, Rashid _ the car god. But primarily you can reach me at Level Luxury Auto. That's also on Instagram. And you can reach me there, or you can email me at Rashid at levelluxuryauto.com if you're interested in a vehicle. And I deliver and get vehicles all over the country for people. I actually got something really cool coming if you haven't seen I have a YouTube channel called Car Gods.
Yes.
Show you kind of a behind the scenes how I locate these vehicles and ship them all over the country. And I had a full season of 10 episodes, season 1. My last one was with James Keith, the owner of Keith and James for doors. The hats that you saw me, the red bottom hats that you saw me
wearing.
Yeah.
We saw that one.
Man, he's from South Carolina. He started in Atlanta. So I sold him a Lamborghini truck.
Yes,
Yeah.
we saw that.
Store on Rodeo Drive. So I kind of show everybody behind the scenes. So my Car Guides is kind of like a car version of $1 Million Listing. So I'm about to start posting or showing season 2, and season 2 is going to feature nephew Tommy. So
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
That's what's up.
So y'all be on the lookout for that. So that's Car Guides on YouTube, and also this is my clothing line, Nelson Barquet.
Okay.
All that stuff is you'll see on my Instagram, on my link. You'll see all my different links there.
Yeah, definitely. We'll post it in the description on this interview as well. So
Yeah.
you just get some love there.
So our last question.
Last question. And everybody wants to know this question.
Everybody wants to know.
All right.
What's the love life looking like for Rashid right now? What's going on?
Right.
Is
Wow.
somebody special?
Huh?
Is there somebody special?
I am dating right now.
Okay.
Just open to the process, but haven't locked in on one particular lady just yet. But at the time when I got back, it was all because I was like, I felt like a fish out of, because I left my business for a month. I was really focusing on getting back to business, and then my mom had open heart surgery, so I really wasn't moving around because I had to move back in with her. I was staying in my old room in high school, small ass queen bed for me, and I was living with her for 6 weeks, so I had to stay because she's older and just had surgery, so I had to keep her away from COVID. So that happened 6 weeks, so I really hadn't had time to date. So I'm just dating, open to dating, just kind of casually right now. Just trying to not rush it and see what happens organically.
Gotcha.
Cool.
One more quick. Do you and the cast get together a lot? Do you and any other people from the cast, y'all hang out a lot besides promoting the show? I'm just talking about just in general.
Yeah, we do, man. We do. I like the camaraderie and from our show. I just hosted a reunion event on Friday. Damn near half the cast came out, and then if people can't come out, they'll send a text like, "Hey man, I can't make it. I got XYZ going on." And like I said, Shay's gonna host a Taco Tuesday. I don't know if it's at her house, but somewhere on Tuesday. And most everybody comes out. We do show up for people's stuff, so it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Hey man, we appreciate you taking your time,
Yes.
afternoon to spend with us. I know other things that you could have been doing, but we thank you for doing that. Hey man, just thank you once again. Promote anything else you got to promote, and before you leave, we get you out.
Just check me out keep following me on Rashid, the Car Guide page, and you can get linked to everything else I've got going on. Like I said, I've got season 2 of Car Guides coming up. Y'all be on the lookout for that. And I'm thinking about just continuing the conversation from kind of what people have seen of me from the show. I'm thinking about maybe continuing the conversation, maybe doing some Facebook or some YouTube live and bring just kind of talking about love and relationships from a guy's perspective. And so we'll see. I got some things in the works, but y'all keep supporting. I appreciate it. And thank you guys. I thank for all the fans that's showing the love and been reaching out.
Absolutely. We'll support you, man. Thank you for supporting us. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification. Make sure you don't miss any of our reviews.
And that's it. We're out. Thank you. Bye.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.